So at this point, because we just got a couple of minutes left, I want to open up and see if there's any questions that anyone would like to ask any of the panelists, and then we'll wrap up and do the blanket. So if anybody's cold out there, right? Yes, sir. Good. You want? Yep, Dr. Roberts.
I'm not a board member. I'm a superintendent, but I can tell you that when I came to City Schools of Decatur, we had nothing like this. As I said, we had pieces of paper. We didn't even have a packet that was put together. So that was the first thing I did, was I created an agenda, put together a packet. And I kept saying to folks over and over, board meetings are meetings for the board. They are held in the public. That's a hard thing, I think, for folks to really get, and I think that's what you're kind of getting at. What I have seen now with this transition, and I can share some of that concern that you have. How much do you put out there, and how much does that create more question? But what I have seen is that we actually get less. When people come to our board meetings, I think, and I have not heard from the board otherwise, that we're getting less of those kinds of questions or comments because we've done a better job of putting out there why we're doing something, what this action item is about, how it relates to our goals. Our vision is always up there. Our mission is always up there. We put the financial, we have the fiscal piece right there. So all of that is out there ahead of time with the explanation of why I'm making this recommendation. And then afterwards you have the documentation of this is what happened in the meeting. And so people out there that might not be attuned and somebody's trying to turn them on something, they can't really be turned because they've gone to the sites and they've seen the information firsthand for themselves. So that would be my response in terms of your question.
Another example of that is that in our local newspaper this week, the editor in his column, and he serves on the city council, where they do not have a mechanism for that transparency and that openness, he praised the Board of Education because we do that. The financial statement is out there. I'd like to also say that the policies that we are considering are out there for public review. So it creates a lot of openness in terms of what the board is doing.
Okay, Mitch, you had something?
I've experienced that not being a pushback at all from the public because there is more information, and it's actually allowed the board members to have less emotion. You know, we're talking about people's kids. You want to get the public's emotion going, talk about their kid. Well, by us being able to find the answers ourselves quicker without having to call someone or help communicate to the public, it's taken some of the emotion out from how the board members react. Therefore, we're more clear. A big piece that helps us is by using eBOARD with the media. Because of their timeline to publish their next issue, we're able, as soon as a meeting's done, we're able to click, our superintendent hits a button and it's available for the media to print factual information so that they have something to go back and reference it, not always what they believe they may have heard. Not saying that the media is not accurate, but sometimes things happen. So, I mean, it's really been a helpful tool for me as a board member.
Well, and I have to give kudos to Richmond County. And Jack, it may be what you're about to say. I don't know if you want to. You go ahead and say it.
I think when we look at this, not only from the board perspective, but the visibility of the board and its conversation. We just had a retreat a couple of weeks ago, and one of the issues that we're dealing with there with our PR person is making sure the schools are using what is available to, number one, to make the schools more visible in the specific community, but also as a board member, speaking to the issues as they come forward. And I do this all the time, and it obviously helps you very much at the whole system level, but I mean, it particularly could be more impressive at the school level, as Jason has done. I mean, he gets all these accolades for what's going on. His school gets all the attention, and that is good because it makes you perform better. And the board, I think, performs better too when we're transparent.
Well, I have to tell you, if you go to the eBOARDsolutions.com website and you go to the news, I think, area, there is a link to a video that the local media news station did, what was it, about a month ago in Richmond County on eBOARD and their openness in providing information. It was outstanding. It was really well done. I don't know how that came about, but I know when I saw it, it gave me kind of goosebumps that, because there is a lot of negative stuff, and this was done in a very positive fashion about the district being open and transparent and providing information to the community.
Well, one of the things I think that it does too that's quite useful, it creates interaction between school board members and those that they represent in the community, because it will beg for questions to be asked, and school board members are able to talk specifically, to their various constituents about various matters. So it helps in that regard as well.
Well, I'm sorry.
If I could, I want to piggyback on what Jack said, and to your concerns. I've been on the board for 6 years now, and myself and I know Mr. Minshew, we were there as eBOARD was brought into Richmond County, and I can remember first getting on the board, and one of the board members told me, if you try to keep up with everything that they sent you, you're going to have to do He was right. He was right. And eBOARD has cut that down tremendously, the amount of stuff that we have to keep up with, because it's right there, it's just a click away. The other part of what you said about these doubting Thomases, and they want to say how poor a job the board's doing, and we got two sitting here, we had five board members just went through re-election. All 5 of them were re-elected, and 2 of them ran unopposed.
And we want to be able to share those with people even beyond who are here today. And so if you all will all join me in thanking our participants, panelists, for being here.